Hello YouTube, it's me, Teddy, back with another hypothetical Winx Club reboot video. This one took me a bit longer than usual, to be honest, as it's a character we really know nothing about. Usually I have a pretty good solid base to jump off of, but even with all of my internet scouring, I just couldn't find much this time. Maybe I'm getting a little burnt out, I'm not sure, but I still did my best. Anyways, without further ado, today we're redesigning Stormy. It's really weird to me that the Trix are such major characters in the show, and yet we don't know anything about Stormy. Icy and Darcy get to have some spotlight every now and then, but Stormy gets nothing. What do we know about her? She has storm-based powers, she's chaotic, her favorite color is dark red, and she has curly hair. I couldn't find even a hint of backstory for her. It's so weird, and it made building her character for this reboot quite challenging. I want all three of the Trix to be distinct, with different personalities and different relationships with their status as a descendant of the ancestral witches. Stormy knew about her heritage from a very young age. She's from an area where people are very active in their community. They have block parties and bake sales, and everybody kind of knows each other. But when the kids would all come together to play, she never really fit in with her peers. All the other little girls wanted to be beautiful fairies one day, but every time they went to play pretend, they would look at Stormy and say, "You're going to be the evil witch that all of us have to fight," always making her the other. Then one day, she's upset about this, of course, and she goes home and she tells her mom. And her mom tells her, "They're right, you are a witch, but you should be proud of that." And then she tells her all about their ancestry, and says, "Stormy, one day you're going to be the most powerful witch in the world." Stormy absolutely internalized this 100%, and soon it was clear that she had a crazy intuition for the kind of magic that witches practice. I'll get into that later. She would be out in the rain every chance she had, trying to channel the static in the air and shoot lightning through her fingertips, always with a huge smile on her face. Stormy is all about being herself. She's a cool, goofy, playful kind of villain. Even though Stormy might seem like she's the annoying little sister of the Trix, she's actually the glue that holds the whole group together. They aren't actually sisters in my reboot, they just call themselves that. I guess technically they are very distant cousins, like if you go back many generations then their grandmas are sisters, but when they meet at Cloud Tower they're complete strangers. Stormy made friends with Darcy first, at orientation actually, and eventually she convinced Icy to start hanging out with them a bit later. Since this means the Trix were meeting at the same time the Winx do, there wouldn't be any fights between them at first. Instead, the villain attacks faced in the first few episodes would be creatures acting as Darkar's minions. They would then come to associate with him a few episodes in. I think this little timeline change would also help with the audience seeing the Trix as teenage girls first, just like the Winx, which is one of my major goals for this reboot. Also, I think Stormy would take Icy and Darcy to parties pretty often, which is where they would develop their popularity and status at school. Despite making her this social butterfly, I'm thinking my Stormy might be aromantic asexual, or at least one of the two. In the original show, Stormy doesn't get a love interest, not a single one, since I do not count Valtor as a romantic interest for the Trix. He's way older, and they're also kind of symbolically related. Plus, he's manipulating them the whole time. Even if the others did kind of have a crush on him, I think Stormy would mostly be interested in the power or status he could offer. I think she mostly just wants to be feared and wield intense power for fun. Like, all the Trix are sadistic, but Stormy's probably the least of the three. She'll definitely knock you around and have fun doing it, but she generally won't go for blood. which is ironic since one of the inspirations I had for her personality is Power from Chainsaw Man, who loves blood, of course. They both talk up their own strength and ability a lot, which can be valid, but they sometimes don't use their head enough. Don't worry, Stormy does shower though. I also wanted her to have Harley Quinn vibes. If you don't know, I love Harley Quinn a lot. But Stormy would be similar to her in a lot of ways. She's funny and cracks jokes, she's agile and good at dodging, and though she is very intelligent, she enjoys setting that aside to have fun and cause chaos. Stormy did very well in school, and at Cloud Tower, she grew her control of her powers rapidly. But she still loves to let loose. Unfortunately, the Trix really only get one main casual outfit, so I tried to get the vibes from that as best as I could. Stormy is more punk in my reboot, so I added that in as well. Her color palette is mostly reds and dark pinks, a little bit of that dark periwinkle that is her hair. But it's pretty similar to Muse's color palette, which I feel highlights them as being counterparts. I think her outfits are fun, but I had trouble with adding detail. This kind of style is one that usually has a lot of accessories, but having a lot of accessories doesn't really mesh well with being an animation-friendly design. But luckily, Stormy's original casual outfit is pretty low on accessories. I wanted her to look party ready all the time and show her confidence, but obviously still be easy to animate. Her clothes also show off her vitiligo, which is in the shape of clouds. I made her hair one color so that her face wouldn't be too busy or cluttered. I do kind of miss the two-tone though. Stormy being black is a very popular headcanon in the fandom, I think mostly because of her hair, and because all of them are white in the original. Obviously, I have no problem with changing her race, but I try to always be extra conscious of avoiding harmful stereotypes, okay? It was not lost on me the fact that Stormy seems to be the most violent, aggressive, and loud of the Trix, and she's the one most often headcanoned as black or seen as black-coded. And those things are all negative stereotypes that black women have to face. You can say I'm reaching or that I'm reading too much into things, but I just wanted you guys to know that I was mindful of that. I tried my best to work around these things in the original and still have Stormy be a black character in my reboot. Don't forget, she's a character introduced in the same season they aired Miss Magics, okay? We can be better. This is the first episode of this redesign series that we don't see a fairy, but we'll still be doing a special form for the Trix. I'm not sure if every witch will have a witch form in my reboot, or if it's just the Trix, or maybe something in between, like it's not that common, but some witches do it and some don't feel like they need to. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think. Since we will be doing other witches like Griffin and Murda and Lucy, I should probably tell you a bit about how witches work too, and how they're different from fairies. In the original show, the explanation given is that fairies use light magic based on positive emotions, and witches use dark magic based on negative emotions. It's a good enough explanation. It just doesn't really make sense with the lore of the world I'm building. I guess think of it like fairies are batteries and witches are electrical outlets. Fairies can perform magic without needing the charms, talismans, or like rituals that witches would need. Fairies' magical energy comes from their wings, their direct connection to the mother dragon. Witches do not have wings, so they access magic through the world around them. Witches are also not officially representing what they base their powers around. Like, Stormy's not really the Witch of Storms. She's just a witch that is able to get power from storms, if that makes sense. Like, those things are just the aspect of the world they connect with most easily. Witchcraft is still a fairly new way to perform magic, and there are still new developments being made in the practice. Some people feel witchcraft is wrong because it's magic without an internal energy source, or they fear it because it's not ancient like fairy magic, though many use these reasons, alongside the deeds of the ancestral witches, as justification for hatred and discrimination against witches. Because of this, some go by different identifiers, like sorceress or wizard, but in truth, these ways of using magic are the same. Stormy herself takes great pride in being a witch, and sees it as superior to fairydom because of the greater amount of work and effort that needs to be put in to achieve the same results. She sees fairies as playing on easy mode, which makes them inherently weaker than her and her sisters. Stormy was a very challenging character to rewrite, but I think what I landed on would be really fun to see animated. And though they pick on her sometimes, Icy and Darcy love Stormy, and they value her as a teammate. She would have the spunkiness they need to have fun and to humanize the group to the audience. I think it would be great to see her explore her powers and her new dynamics with the other rewritten characters. Stormy definitely needs to get some spotlight for a change, and I hope you like what I've done with her. Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more. Thank you guys so much for watching, really. Bye!